Tragedy of Two-Face from Batman the Animated Series is that he's not necessarily a bad guy, he's genuinely sick. And I love that Batman manages to hold out hope that maybe one day he can help him get better. But with Harvey's psyche being so fragile, there's an opportunity for somebody immensely cruel to take advantage of that and send him off the deep end. But who would be so insanely cruel and petty that they would take advantage of a sick man's attempts to get better and sabotage them just for their own amusement? Any guesses? Any theories? Yeah, it's the Joker. Big surprise. That's exactly what happens in the first 2 issues of the Batman and Robin Adventures series, which is a comic book series that is in the same continuity as Batman the Animated Series. Keeps the same art style and style of storytelling. Harvey is the closest he has ever been to being fully rehabilitated and being allowed back into society. And they're even saying that once he's mentally strong enough to handle it, they'll be able to give him an operation to give him facial reconstruction. And he's telling all this to Bruce and Grace, who visit him every single week. Which, by the way, it's gotta be weird for Bruce to be visiting him every week when he also kind of fights him every week. Like, can you imagine how much bullshitting Bruce has to do? Like, on Monday, he's duking it out with Two-Face, and on Tuesday he comes to visit him and he's just like, oh man, that's crazy that Batman got you again, but I'm glad you're okay. So beautiful progress. What could go wrong, right? The Joker could go wrong. Because after Harvey's done with his weekly visit with Bruce and Grace, the Joker plants it in his head that Bruce and Grace are secretly having an affair behind his back, and that the only reason that Bruce is paying for Harvey's treatments and that he and Grace are visiting him weekly is just to keep an eye on him and to keep him out of the way. And the thing is, there's nothing going on between them. They genuinely love Harvey and want him to get better. Although I will say there is one part where Grace kind of insinuates that she would be lucky to have somebody like Bruce, but Bruce deads that immediately because Harvey is his boy, and this version of Bruce is loyal. Some of the ones in the comics aren't as loyal. And the Joker, being a blight on humanity, decides to keep messing with Harvey. So he sends out Harley to get a picture of Grace innocently pecking Bruce on the cheek, out of context, sells it to a tabloid and tells them that Bruce proposed to her. Then literally takes the newspaper and delivers it direct to Harvey's door so he could crash the fuck out. And because there are public parks that have better security than Arkham Asylum, he winds up escaping. So to make a long story short, he goes on a rampage. He kidnaps Grace. He also blows up some low-income housing that Bruce was funding, and I guess for some reason, poor people always gotta wind up getting screwed over in every situation. You can't have shit in Gotham City. And you know, they do the normal thing. Batman and Robin save the day, and Robin's remarking on how the damage looks really bad, but they should be able to rebuild everything, and Batman says, no, not everything. Because Grace has finally given up on Harvey, and you can't fully blame her, because this is like the 3rd crash out she had to witness from him, and this time, he was threatening her. He straight up attempted to flatline Bruce, and was threatening to do the same to her immediately after, over something that was just a misunderstanding that the Joker instigated. So the Joker's instigation caused Harvey to mess up all his hard work and progress, destroy his relationship with Grace, and honestly probably traumatize her, caused Harvey to crash out as Two-Face and go on a rampage, destroyed a bunch of low-income housing, as if being poor, let alone in a place like Gotham, isn't hard enough as it is, and really damaged Bruce's hope for Harvey to one day get better. Do you know his explanation for why he did all this? You know what his motive was? He says because it was Tuesday. You know, because he just does this kind of shit for fun. This issue ends on a pretty sad note for pretty much everyone involved except for the Joker, and I understand that he was already, like, you know, locked up in Arkham. I still